Hi guys, welcome back to Golden Reviewer. This is the Lenovo Legion Duel 2, and this is absolutely a beast of a gaming phone. This is the phone that has two fans, it has two charging ports, it has two battery, and it's also known as the phone that snaps easily. But to be honest, today we are not going to do the snapping test, rather we are doing a Genshin Impact Ultimate gaming test on this device. And I have high hopes for it. Just look at these vents, right? It's a very seriously designed phone for gaming. And I'll also make use of these trigger buttons during the gameplay because they are there. Why not using them, right? Okay, so the testing procedure will be the same, but also a little bit different. Some of you might have noticed that the battery temperature currently is actually very high at 44 degrees. Just now it was actually at 47, but now it's a little bit lower at 44. And this is because I've actually run the game on this phone for about 15 to 20 minutes prior to the test. So this is not a cold start, okay? But rather, the device itself is already hot, and we are still going to stress it with Genshin Impact at highest settings and see how it handles the load. So apparently, if the device is able to run the game smoothly, even if the battery temperature is already 45-46 degrees from the start, right? Then you don't need to worry about anything. It will be absolutely handling the game like a pro. And then of course, this device has a rampage mode, which means it will try to keep all the CPU and GPU at highest frequency throughout the game for maximize the smoothness, and will enable that. But of course, with that, it will come with more heat and a bit more battery drain. But we don't worry about that. This is just an extreme, exotic gaming phone, and we want to release its full potential. And I really hope that we can see the first ever phone to be able to run Genshin Impact at 60 FPS throughout my test. And so far, none of the devices I've tested could do this. So let's just hope this to be the first one. Alright, so can I ask you to actually give me a thumb up for the video and share it to your friends who might be interested, and also remember to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. Okay, so without further ado, I'll stop talking and let you enjoy the test. And if you're not really interested in watching the full test, you can fast forward to the end of the video for the results. Okay.
Born of ice and frost. Next on the agenda. Come on. I'm going in. Next on the agenda. Next on the agenda.
Okay guys, test is finished, results are in, and yes, I'm so happy to announce that this is the first ever phone to be able to run at almost 60 FPS in my 10 minutes Genshin Impact test. And it actually did better than that because it's a hot start and not a cold start like other devices. To be honest, it's still not strictly 60 all the time. We can see a few very minor frame drops, but it's really nothing to worry about. And this is absolutely the best experience I've had from any of the devices I've tested. Okay, so this is the closest thing to perfection you can get from a mobile device so far. So I think Lenovo did very well in building a beast of a gaming phone, and it's really the best I've tested so far, period. Then looking at the power consumption, it might surprise you. It actually surprised me because the number is actually shoot through the roof, right? It's crazy that this device uses on average 10.7 watt of power, which is almost double from some of the other devices I've tested. Other Snapdragon 888 device will usually max out at 7 to 8 watt max, and I'll say that is already a quite high number, but this device is able to use 10.7 watt of power, and it's actually quite stable. If you just look at the power consumption curve, there is almost no throttling at all. It's just a straight line. And so from the battery capacity, we know that the estimated battery life will be 2 hours if we are playing this game at higher settings and 60 FPS with the rampage mode on. And some of you might think that this device will become extremely hot because of the high power consumption. To some degrees, that's true. The device does become hot, but actually it doesn't affect the gameplay because the device is designed in that way. So the CPU is actually in the middle of the chassis, and the part that get hot is only the middle part, which your finger will not actually touch during the gameplay. So after the gameplay, I happen to touch the center part of the device, and it's really hot. I believe if I leave my finger there for a few minutes, I might get burnt. But during the actual gameplay, I'm holding the phone sideways and my hand is not touching the very hot part. And the two sides, the left and right side of the device, is actually not that hot. It's quite warm, I say, but it's not so hot that it's not comfortable to hold, right? Actually, I'll say it's less hot than some of the other Snapdragon 888 devices because most of the device will have the CPU on the top of the chassis. So in that way, when you are holding the device, the CPU will be right under your left or right hand depending on how you hold the device. But this device is designed in this way so the heat will not interfere your gaming play, which I think is actually quite smart as well. So finally, I've incorporated this result into my Excel. And of course, as you might expect, this is hands down the best performing device in this test. So it's better than the ROG 5, it's better than the Xiaomi, better than the Poco, the Samsung, OnePlus, whatever, right? No competition there. Alright guys, that's all for today's video, and thank you for watching. See you next time.